everybody. We've got beautiful skies tonight. The church bells toll and tell me that it's 6 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. I want everybody to just think about where you were right before you came here. And then go ahead and take a look around and just check out your neighbors and the other people who came here to the class tonight. Check out the trees around us, the grass underneath us. The grass was much taller last week, so they actually cut it, and it's nice. And just noticing kind of the temperature in the air as well. We're going to get started in a seated position today, so go ahead and whatever's most comfortable for you, I'm going to cross my legs in front of me, just gently. And then I'm going to start by introducing myself. I guess we should do that first. So my name is Amber, and I'm with Mindful Yoga and Art STL. And I do these yoga classes every Monday, and I'm glad to see so many faces today. Every Monday we go through a routine that's pretty similar. We go through kind of a breathing exercise to start with, and then some gentle warm-ups of the spine, and then work into going from knees to standing positions, and then balancing, and then we go back to the mat at the end, and then do our Shavasana at the very, very end, which is the final resting and relaxation pose. So we fit all that into an hour, and I always like to start with a little mindfulness to start, a quote or kind of a concept, and tonight's more of a concept. So there is many principles of mindfulness and how to just kind of come into your body and come into the present moment. And tonight I'm going to focus on two. One is called patience, which is being compassionate and understanding not only to yourself but to those around you. And sometimes you'll notice that while you're doing poses in yoga, you'll be like, oh, that's not right. Oh, why am I doing that? And I ask you tonight to just be patient with yourself and give yourself the compassion you would give a friend or anybody else that you love. And then the other concept is letting go. So mindfulness sometimes is letting go of where we have been and what we want to do and just being here in the now. And sometimes that's a tug of war in our brain, and sometimes that's easier said than done. But tonight, if you have those moments of mindfulness, just noticing how your muscles feel, noticing how the mat feels underneath you right now, noticing how the air and the slight breeze feels on your skin, those are moments of letting go of all the worries and just being here in the moment. So I'll try to cue those throughout our class and just bring you back to that every once in a while. So I'm going to start the music, and then we're going to start moving. All right. So we're going to start in a seated position as I encourage this wasp to get off of my mat here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, goodbye. All right. We're going to sit our hands gently on our knees. We're going to lift up our chest and our heart and lift up our chin. And we're going to take a deep inhale in, so much so that you're expanding your belly outward with so much oxygen coming in. And then as you exhale, just let your chin drop to your chest, let your back slightly curve, and just exhale out through your mouth or through your nose. And we're going to do that again. Inhale, lifting with the heart, lifting with the chest and the chin. Inhale as much oxygen as you can. And then exhale, letting your shoulders soften, letting your chin and your chest fall, and breathing out as much as you can. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. If you're a numbers person, I also challenge you to inhale to the count of 4, 3, 4, and hold it here for a second. And then exhale, and see if you can exhale to the count of 4 as well. Letting your belly button sink in towards your spine. And inhale, feeling your belly expand out. And exhale to the count of 4, letting your belly button sink in. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to start some arm movements here in just a second. The more we deepen our breath, sometimes that helps just clear the mind. It clears the stress out. I definitely believe in exhaling out all the stress and getting out all the hot air inside me and trying to imagine inhaling fresh, clean, energizing oxygen into my body. So throughout the class, you can take or leave anything I say up here. I give suggestions, but you know your body the best. If anything hurts throughout our class, back out of it and trust your body that it doesn't want to do that pose tonight. And I will always give options. All right, let's go ahead and incorporate our arms into this movement. So inhaling, bringing our fingertips up towards the sky, and exhaling, fingertips touching the mat at our sides. Inhaling, exhaling. See if you can still breathe into the count of 4. We're not rushing things tonight. Slow and controlled. Inhale, exhale. One more time, reach up towards the sky, and then reach both fingers still up towards the sky and drop your left hand out to your side. We're going to reach that left hand out a little bit farther as maybe our hands might go into the grass. And then we're going to go ahead and reach our right arm atop, across our head, over towards the left. Play with your shoulder here, maybe drawing your shoulder back and gazing up at the sky. Maybe curving your shoulder down and looking at the ground. Always know that this is your body. You can be playful with it tonight. There's some movements that feel good when one person does it, and then when another person does it, it doesn't feel so good. So try to find what feels good to you. Inhale, reach up to the sky with both hands again, fingertips reaching, strong back. And exhale, right hand falls to the ground and reaches out just a little bit further. And left hand reaches up across the top of your head and over towards the right. Play with that shoulder, looking up, looking down. And inhale, both fingertips to the sky. Let's go ahead and do that again. Left hand reaches out. Maybe this time, see if you can come down to your forearm. See if you can keep both hip bones grounded underneath you so that you're not popping up one hip bone off the mat. Once again, just reaching, stretching our spine from side to side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, drop the right hand, and maybe see if you can drop the right forearm, just to deepen the stretch just a little bit. And inhale, reach up with both hands. We're going to drop the right hand to the right knee. Left hand reaches back behind us and grounds down right behind the hip. Take the gaze off behind you, opening up through the chest and the collarbone as you twist from the base of your spine. Also thinking about lifting up with the top of your head so that your spine can somehow also lift and lengthen from the base all the way to the top of your head. Twisting and breathing. Every time we breathe in a twisted position, it sometimes gets a little constricted, so just notice the difference in breath here. And inhale, face forward. Inhale, reach up with the arms. Drop the left hand to the left knee. Right hand this time reaches behind you and drops down right behind the hip. Take the gaze behind you. Think about stretching from the base of the spine to the top of the head and just twisting with your lower back, not cranking your neck. Take a few breaths here, noticing the difference from when you're twisted and when you're breathing with just facing forward as well. Inhale, face forward. We're going to uncross our legs and go ahead and keep them bent and set the soles of our feet down in front of us. Grab the front of your knees here, and we're going to inhale, lifting our chest and our chin once again, bringing a slight curve into our lower back. And then exhale, chin to chest, reaching back with your upper back, almost like you're leaning back on a chair or Adirondack chair. Inhale, gazing up, lifting up with your chest and chin. We're doing a modified cat-cow right now, if you're familiar with that. And exhale, this would be the cat pose. Inhale, think about drawing those shoulder blades together as you look up, slight curve in your lower back. And exhale, think about expanding that space between your shoulder blades behind you as you lean back and let your body weight be supported by your hands on your knees. So go ahead and do 2 more of those. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. All right, go ahead and let go of your knees. We're going to do a couple of wrist circles here because we're going down, and we're going to go into tabletop position next, but we just want to warm up our joints as much as possible. Give our joints some love, the compassion and the patience. All right, let's go ahead and let's take our knees off to the side and slowly come to a kneeling position, knees underneath hip bones, and then we're going to set our hands flat on the mat, wrists underneath shoulders. So we're coming into a position called tabletop position. In this position, we're going to do 2 more of those cat-cows, and then we're going to take it a little further. So cat-cow in this position is similar but a little bit different. We're going to inhale, draw our gaze up, hips come up, slight curve in the lower back, gaze comes up to the sky, and exhale, chin to chest, push down through the hands, spread those shoulder blades apart, and really crunch the core, crunch the abs into your body as well. Inhale, cow pose, exhale, cat pose. 1 more. Inhale, cow pose, and exhale, cat pose. We're going to take it and do a slight crunch here. So we're going to pay attention to our core and our abdomen muscles because they support our spine from the opposite side of our body, and our abs are so important in helping our strength. So we're going to take our right knee off the mat and crunch it in underneath us, squeezing our belly button in towards our spine, squeezing our lower ab. And then I want you to go ahead and try to see if you can reach your nose towards your knee. And then exhale, we're going to kick that right heel out behind us. And then inhale, go ahead and crunch it in once again. Maybe knee to nose. And exhale, kick it out behind you. Inhale, knee to nose, really crunching those abs, feeling strong, pushing down through the hands. And exhale, kick that heel back behind you. 1 more time. Inhale here. And exhale, kick that heel out behind you. Shift your weight over into your right hand, spread those fingers wide and grip the mat, and see if you can lift off your left hand off the mat and reach it forward. Thinking about creating a straight line from your fingertips all the way to your heel. You can take your gaze down to the mat and just relax your neck here. Inhale, drawing the thumb and the heel up just a little bit more, and exhale it all down. Let's do those same movements on the opposite side. So first starting by lifting your left knee off the mat, crunching it underneath you, squeezing those ab muscles, bringing your knee towards your nose, and exhaling, kicking that left heel out behind you. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, crunch it in, tight, 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 and exhale. We're going to do 1 more. Inhale, knee underneath you, crunching it in, knee to nose, and exhale, take it out behind you. This time, shift the weight over into your left hand and reach forward with your right fingertips. They call this pose bird dog pose. Not sure why, but that's its name. Inhale here, keep breathing, feeling the strength go down your lower back, your upper thigh. And then see if you can inhale and lift up your heel and your thumb just a little bit more. Finding balance, finding strength, and then exhale it all down. All right, we're going to go through those movements again, but just a slight variation this time. So inhale, crunch that right knee in underneath you. Exhale, kick that right heel back behind you, sticking with the same leg. Inhale, crunch that right knee underneath you, knee to nose perhaps. Exhale, kick that heel out behind you. This time we're gonna go ahead and kick that back foot flat, almost like we're kicking a wall behind us. And then we're gonna take the toes down right behind the left foot. So we're almost crossing our midline and then grounding down our toes behind us. We're shifting our weight over into the right side once again, lifting our left hand off the mat, placing it on our hip, and then looking back at your toes so that your body is a slight crescent right now, banana crescent. Thinking about stretching your spine in different ways here. Inhale, go ahead and set that left hand down. Look forward and draw that right knee underneath you again. This time going to your left knee, crunch it in underneath you with an inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, kick that left heel out behind you. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, kick that foot out behind you, flat foot. Take those toes across the midline and drop them down right behind your right toes. Shift your weight into your left hand. Right hand comes up to your waist and look back at your toes behind you. What are they doing? What's your body doing? It's always good to have some body awareness. What's going on down there? Take a couple of breaths here. And exhale, drop the right hand to the mat and bring the left knee back up into tabletop. So let's take a couple of movements here. We're going to go into a slight variation of a side plank here in a second, but let's warm it up a little bit. We're going to take our heels back, our hips back to our heels, sitting down almost like we're going into a child's pose here. And then inhale back up to tabletop. And then shifting forward, almost like we're doing a half plank. Inhale back to tabletop. Take the hips back to the heels once again. So we're basically just shifting back and forward. Moving our hips down to our heels, coming up through tabletop, and then moving it forward, feeling that strength in our arms as we move it forward. Let's do that one more time, taking our hips down to our heels, letting our head and neck just hang loose for a moment. Inhale back up to a tabletop position, and then shift your weight forward as far as you can before your arms start shaking just a little bit. And exhale back into that tabletop position. All right, let's come off of our wrists for just 1 second. So we're gonna go into a kneeling position and lift up our torso here. Shake out your wrists just a little bit to get ready for our modified side planks here. So wrist circle one direction, wrist circle the other direction. And let's go ahead and plant our right and left hand back into that tabletop position. And we're going to do 2 more crunches and then go into that side plank. So inhale, right knee underneath you, crunch it in, knee to nose. Right heel kicks back behind you. Inhale, right knee underneath you. Exhale, kick that right heel back behind you. This time we're going to do something similar to what we just did. We're going to drop those right toes directly behind the left heel from the left foot. And then we're going to drop the inside of our foot all the way to the mat, almost opening up our right side of our body towards the right side of the mat here. If you feel comfortable, lift the right hand off the mat and reach those fingertips up to the sky. Balancing not only on your knee, but on your wrist, and also pushing through the top of your left foot as well to not dump all your weight into your wrist. So modified side plank here. Stay here and breathe. If you want to challenge yourself, see if you can lift that right foot off the mat and just balance on the left foot, the left hand, and the left knee. If you're saying, nope, that's not tonight, don't do it. And exhale it all down. Right hand grounds down into the mat, right knee grounds down into the mat. And then we shift it over to the left. So let's go ahead and hug that left knee underneath us, crunching it in, knee to nose. Kick that left heel back behind you, feeling that straight line from the top of your head all the way to your heel. Inhale, crunch that left knee underneath you, knee to nose. Exhale, kick that leg out behind you. This time, once again, taking that left leg across the midline, dropping the toes down directly behind the right foot, and then going ahead and pressing through the inside of that right foot, grounding that whole edge of your foot down. Right fingertips are spread wide as we lift our left hand off the mat and reach it up towards the sky for a modified side plank. feeling strong, feeling balanced, not letting yourself dump all your weight into your wrist, but also using your knee and the top of your right foot to press down into the earth. And then seeing if you want to challenge yourself by lifting up that left leg off the ground. Play with it, see what feels good to you. Inhale here, reaching, and exhale, coming back to that tabletop position. All right. From tabletop, we're going to go into a low lunge now. So just like we were doing before, we're going to take our right knee off the mat. Inhale, crunch it into our body. But this time, we're going to step that right foot forward in between our right and left hands. Finding our balance here, inhaling the fingertips up. Coming into that low lunge position. Don't forget to press through the back of the top of the back foot as well to help balance. Squeezing core also helps balance as well. Inhale here. Exhale, hands come to a prayer position. Let's go ahead and turn towards our right knee and pivot in a twist position here. So elbow, if you choose, I see some people already doing it. Left elbow can come down to right thigh. Right elbow can reach up towards the sky here. In a twisted low lunge. Inhale, drawing the torso up, coming to center, facing forward again. Sometimes my balance is a little rocky too. And exhale, drop your hands on either side of that right foot. Left hand grounds down into your mat. And right fingertips reach up towards the sky. Opening up through the collarbones, through the chest. Reaching. We're twisting a lot tonight. Inhale and exhale, drop that right hand down. We're going to go into a half splits position, and how we get there is we walk ever so slowly with our fingertips back towards our knee, towards our back knee and towards our back foot. And we slowly straighten out that front leg and lift the toes off the mat in front of us. So we can come to fingertips pressing into the mat on either side of us. If you have blocks, you can use blocks. Or you can always lift your torso as well and just press your hands down into your upper thigh. Play with lifting those toes back towards you and pointing them just to feel that good hamstring stretch. Or maybe not so good, but breathe into it. Inhale, exhale. Half splits can be a little grueling, and sometimes I catch myself gritting my teeth, so just pay attention to if you're clenching your jaw at all. And exhale wherever you are. Come back down, walk those fingertips forward. Bring the bend back into that front knee. And then we're going to slowly walk that right foot back to coming into that tabletop position once again. Let's do those same movements on the left side. So once again, grounding down with our hands. Fingerprints are pressing into the earth. We're going to inhale, hug our left knee into our body, crunch it in. Exhale, kick that foot back. Oops, supposed to go forward. Inhale, crunch that left knee underneath you, knee to nose. Step that left foot forward in between your right and left hands. Sometimes I get tongue-tied. Inhale, lift up into a low lunge position here. Pressing through the ball of the front foot, the top of the back foot, lifting through your chest and through your heart. Exhale, hands come down into a prayer position at your heart. We're going to twist towards our bent knee, so twisting left, looking over to the left, and then you can ground down your right elbow into your left upper thigh, and left elbow reaches up towards the sky in a low lunge twist position. For those of you who just like extra challenges, you can always tuck those toes behind you and lift that back knee off the mat, if you so choose. Or keep grounded. Inhale, lifting the torso, facing it forward. Hands come down to your mat on either side of your foot. And then this time we're going to ground down through our right fingertips. And then we're going to lift our left fingertips up to the sky. In a different version of a twist. Feeling the strength of your body, feeling that reach, noticing how you can press down through your right hands and reach up through your left fingertips and really feel your whole body stretch apart almost. And exhale, go ahead and ground down your left hand into the mat. Coming into a half splits position once again. We're going to slowly walk our fingertips back towards our back knee. Straightening out the left leg in front of us. And lifting our left foot off the mat. Toes come towards our nose. Fingertips can ground down into the mat. You can also lift your torso and press your hands into your upper thighs. Half splits, it's a good one. Inhale here. Exhale, feeling the love for your hammies. And exhale, go ahead and ground down into the earth with those fingertips. Walk them forward. And then wiggle that left foot back into that tabletop position once again. All right. From this tabletop position, this time we're going to spread our knees wide to the side. Knees are touching the sides of our mat. Toes come together behind us. And go ahead and take your hips down to your heels once again, and we're going to go into a full child's pose here. So child's pose, we set our hips on our heels, we reach forward with our hands, and we let our head and neck just hang loose, maybe resting our forehead into the mat. It's a pose of surrender and letting go. So letting go of not only oxygen, the carbon dioxide, letting go of any stress or thoughts that you still have going around in your mind that you just don't want with you anymore. Letting the tension melt out of the muscles momentarily as you just let your body be supported by the mat underneath you. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly coming into that tabletop position. Let's make our way up to some standing positions here. So from tabletop, what we're going to do is we're going to tuck our toes behind us. So lifting our toes off the mat, tucking them behind us. We're going to press our hands down into the mat firmly. Inhale here and exhale. Press down with your hands and lift your hips up and back into a downward dog position. So we're hinging at the hips here, pressing down with our hands, bringing our lower abs towards our upper thighs, and then the earth, even though they might not touch, sending them towards the earth as our head and neck hang loose. Let's go ahead and bend our right knee, bend our left knee, just warming up those legs a little bit more. And then it's your choice. You can slowly walk or step up to your hands or take a big leap up to your hands. Whatever you choose, meet me at a forward fold at the front of your mat. Stay here for a moment and breathe. And then inhale, slowly arms come out to the side and reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down to your side. And take a moment to breathe. We just spent a lot of time on the ground. Now we're going to do some standing movements. So shake out what you need to shake out. Drink if you need to drink. Hydrate. I will have to say this is a lovely evening. Of all the evenings we've been here. All right. We're going to do another brief breathing exercise before we go into some movements, and it involves tensing and relaxing, and it's one of my favorite ones that I used to teach some of the teenagers and adults that I used to work with. So what we want to do is, at a mountain pose typically, we stand forward with our palms facing forward, shoulders are lifted and rolled back. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to inhale, tense up ball up your fist, bring your shoulders up to your ear, tense your face, and then as you exhale, we're going to exhale with our tongue sticking out, our eyes go wide, and we breathe out through our mouth. It's called lion's breath, and it looks completely silly, but it makes you giggle, and it also makes you loosen up a little bit. So yes, let's try that again. Inhale, we're going to tense everything, and then exhale, let it all go. One more time. I forgot to stick out my tongue. Oops. Inhale, tense. And exhale, lion's breath. If anybody's ever seen those Chinese lion statues that are pretty common amongst the older relics in the art museum, there's lions that have big sharp fangs and their tongues are like, and it's really cool. So I think lion's breath kind of imitates that. So let's meet at the front of our mat. We're going to go through some sun salutations and then some different balancing poses as well. I feel like I'm going to just shift around here so I'm not always showing my back end to everybody. Sorry about that. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, we're going to dive forward, arms come wide down to the mat. In this forward fold, let's go ahead and press our hands into the mat right in front of our toes. Bending our knees, not keeping our legs straight and locked, but just being soft in the knees. We're going to step back with our right foot momentarily, looking forward, and then step back with our left foot, coming into a plank position. Hear those honks of encouragement as they go by. You can always drop your knees here for a modified plank to just be easier on your body. Or slowly, we're going to lock those elbows in and exhale all the way down to our belly. You can also do knees, hips, belly, chest. Inhale up here, cobra. So just lifting the shoulders, lifting the head and heart. And then exhale, tuck those toes behind you. We're going to come into a downward dog with an exhale. So pushing through the hands, lifting the hips up and back. Slow and controlled, breathe here. This time we're going to step forward with our left foot in between our right and left hands. Gaze forward just slightly. And then step forward with the right hands, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, arms reach out wide as we reach up towards the sky and draw our gaze up towards the clouds. And then exhale, hands come to your heart. So that was a very slow sun salutation. We'll do that one again. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Slight back bend as we look up and draw our chin up. And then exhale, big swan dive, forward fold. Ground the hands down in front of your toes, bending your knees generously. This time, stepping back with your left foot first. Look forward for a moment. And exhale, step back with your right foot coming into that plank position. Keep breathing here. Modify the plank by dropping the knees if you need to. Lock the elbows in and exhale, slowly lower down. Knees, hips, belly, chest. Inhale up here, cobra or up dog. So the difference between up dog and cobra is up dog, you really push up, push down through the hands and lift your whole upper torso off the mat. And then you can also see if you can lift up your legs off the mat behind you by pressing into the tops of your feet. That one's a little more challenging. Exhale here. We're going to flip those feet around and come into a downward dog. Once again, slow and controlled. Always walking your hands back or forward. If you feel like you're slipping or if you feel like it just doesn't feel right, modify it for yourself. See what feels good. Step forward with your right foot in between your right and left hands. Look forward momentarily. Step forward with your left foot. Forward fold position. Knees are bent generously. Inhale, fingertips reach up to the sky. As we draw our gaze up. And then exhale, hands come down to your heart. In a weird way that time. To a prayer position. All right, let's try those again, but keep adding a little bit extra flair each time. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Slow and controlled. Hands press down into the mat in front of your feet. Step back with your right foot here. This time, dropping that knee down for a moment. Inhale up here, low lunge. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. We're going to step that left foot back here. Once again, coming through tabletop for a moment. And then we're going to do a position that I like here. We're going to come down to our forearms. Still, knees are bent, glutes and hips are in the air, but we come down to our forearms here and slowly lower the top of our head to the mat. Inhale here, gaze forward, come back up to your hands, right and left hands. Tuck the toes behind you, lift the hips up and back into downward dog. And this time, we're going to step it forward with our left foot in between our right and left hands. Gaze forward slightly. And then step forward with the right foot. Forward fold, take a moment. And then inhale the fingertips all the way up to the sky. And this time, bringing the hands at a prayer position above our head and drawing the hands down to our heart. All right, last time with sun salutations. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, arms come out wide, slowly hinge forward at the waist, folding down, hands come onto the mat as we bend our knees generously. Step back with our left foot here, bringing that left knee down to the ground momentarily. Inhale, fingertips come up, low lunge. Exhale, hands come on either side of that right foot. Go ahead and walk that right foot back into that tabletop position, and we'll try that same position we just did a minute ago. Coming down to our forearms, keeping our hips up into the air, and just letting our head and neck just come down to the mat. You can shift your hips back and forward here. It's just feeling kind of different stretches. As we send kindness to whoever that siren is going to. Inhale, coming up to your hands, pressing into the mat. And step forward with your right foot in between your right and left hands here. Take a moment, gaze forward. Step forward with your left foot coming into a bent knee forward fold position. And inhale, fingertips come up to the sky. Hands press together and slowly come down to our heart. Beautiful. All right, let's go into a couple of warrior series. We're gonna inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, similar to what we were just doing. This time we're gonna throw in a halfway lift here. So if you're not familiar with halfway lift, we're gonna draw our hands up to our thighs, flat back, shoulder blades drawing together, and we look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Ground down those hands in front of your toes. Step back with your right foot. Step back with your left foot, coming into plank or dropping the knees for modified plank. Breathe here. Definitely feeling the core. Squeeze those core muscles and lock the elbows in as you slowly lower all the way down to the ground. It's okay if it's a flop too. I'm a flopper sometimes. Inhale up here, cobra or up dog, your choice. Exhale, flip the toes around, tuck the toes, and shift your hips up and back into downward dog. Inhale here, we're gonna come back to what we did earlier. We're gonna hug our right knee underneath us, crunch it in. We're gonna exhale, kick that right heel out behind us. This time the heel goes up towards the sky as we come into a three-legged dog. Inhale here, take that knee underneath you and use the momentum to step it forward in between the right and left hands. All right. Finding your balance here, we're going to lift up into a high lunge, so pressing through the ball of the front foot, bending at a 90-degree angle with that front knee, and pressing that left heel down towards the earth. Reach up into a high lunge this time. Go ahead and pivot the back foot and go ahead and press it all the way down into the earth at an angle, at a 45 or a 90-degree angle. Coming into a warrior one position. Strong warrior ones, lifting up with the fingertips, lifting up through the rib cage and through the heart, engaging the core still. Inhale, take the bend out of the front knee, slowly hinging forward. Exhale, reaching the fingertips forward, and if you can, all the way down to the ankle or to the mat into a pyramid pose. You can always ground down with your hand either on your shin, your ankle, or pressing your fingertips into the mat. And if you can only go halfway and just reach halfway, that's okay today too. Pyramid pose. Wherever you're at, inhale, slowly lift your fingertips up towards the sky. Bring the bend back into that front knee. Feeling that balance, adjusting as needed. If you feel like you're off balance, one thing I always like to look down is just check where my feet are there should be a straight line all the way back from your right heel into your left heel. And that's kind of the line that you want to keep your feet on. Bend through that front knee, reaching up. Exhale, arms come down and back, clasping behind you. Inhale, lifting up through your shoulders, stretching those hands, maybe clasp hands behind you away from your hips and lifting them up as you gaze up at the sky. My shoulders are tight today. Inhale here. Exhale, unclasp the hands behind you. Reach up into Warrior One once again. And this time we're going to shift our body towards the left side of our mat. Arms come down into a parallel to the earth position, into a Warrior Two. All right, once again, checking your alignment. Is your front knee still bent at a 90-degree angle? Are you still lifting and engaging the core? Are you drawing your shoulders back and almost touching your shoulder blades behind you? And then are you gazing over your front fingertips? Warrior Two here. Inhale, straighten the front leg and reach up. Exhale, arms come down, parallel to the earth. Right fingertips reach forward and reach all the way down towards the mat or resting on your calf or your ankle, wherever it feels comfortable to you. And left fingertips reach up towards the sky, triangle pose. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale, once again, reaching up, lifting the torso and coming into a Warrior Two position. Finding balance. If you lose your balance tonight, be patient with yourself. Don't forget that loving kindness towards yourself. And we're gonna bend into that right knee enough, so we're gonna pump action that right knee. And we're gonna step forward with our left, a big leap, step forward, right and left meets at the front of the mat. All right, let's try those same movements on the left side, but for a moment, just see if do you notice anything different about your right hip versus your left hip at this moment? Does it feel a little more stretched, a little looser? It's also great to just notice when your body is loose. Sometimes we notice all the tension, but sometimes it's really empowering to notice when we feel good. So, okay, right hip. All right, let's try to make the left feel as good. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift here. So hands meet thighs, flat back, looking forward. Exhale, forward fold. Hands ground down in front of your toes here as we step back with our left foot to start with. Right foot meets the left foot at the back of the mat in a plank position, or drop those knees if you need to. Inhale here, feeling strong through the core. Lock the elbows in and slowly lower down. Knees, hips, belly, chest. Inhale up here, cobra or up dog, your choice. Exhale, come into that downward dog position by tucking the toes behind you and pushing back through your hands, lifting the hips up and back. All right, this time we're gonna take that left knee, hug it in underneath us, crunch it in, knee to nose. Kick that left heel up towards the sky this time, three-legged dog. Inhale, take that left knee underneath you. Exhale, kick it up to the sky. And then our next movement is going to take that knee underneath us and use the momentum to step it forward in between the right and left hands. And mind you, it may not happen that way. It may not look graceful, and that's okay too. Find your balance here. We're going to come up slowly into a high lunge by lifting our fingertips. Keep that front knee bent at a 90-degree angle. Back heel is popped off the mat behind us. Looking good, looking strong. It is really cool crowd tonight. All right. Exhale, let's go ahead and ground down that back foot behind us at a 45-degree angle. Warrior One position here. Reaching up, feeling strong. Inhale, take the bend out of the front knee. Exhale, hinging at the hips, reaching forward with our fingertips in the top of our head. And then seeing if you can go ahead and reach down all the way to your ankle or fingertips grounding into the mat. It's okay if you can't tonight. Maybe grounding your hands down on the front of your shin or your thighs. That could also be something to try. We're all at different flexibility levels, and that's okay. Pyramid pose. Inhale here, slowly coming up, lifting the fingertips to the sky, bringing the bend back to that front knee. Fingertips reach up, and then go ahead and swoop them down towards the mat and behind you. Clasp those fingertips behind you. Inhale, opening up through the chest, lifting the clasped hands away from your hips behind you. Take a couple of breaths. And slowly unclasping the hands, inhaling the fingertips up, and then turning our body towards the right side of our mat and opening up our arms into Warrior Two. Beautiful. Once again, check to see that your front knee isn't coming in. Go ahead and see. We want to keep that knee pointing straight forward, bent at a 90-degree angle. Arms are parallel to the earth. We're engaging our core and drawing those shoulder blades together, all that good stuff. Inhale, take the bend out of the front knee as we reach up towards the sky. Exhale, arms come down. Reach forward with the left fingertips. And left fingertips reach down towards the earth as right fingertips reach up to the sky. Triangle pose. If you find your balance wavering here, definitely squeeze that core again. Keep the core solid. And also use your leg as a balance point to maybe rest the back of your hand. Inhale, slowly lifting the torso, bringing the bend back to the front knee, coming into a Warrior Two position once again. We're going to use that pump action bent knee to slowly bring ourselves up to a standing position at the front of our mat and leaping that right foot forward. All right, shake it out. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, hands come down into a prayer position at your heart. We're going to do 2 balancing poses before we come down to our mats tonight for our final stretches. Our first balancing pose, we're going to make sure our feet are about a little more than hip width apart. A yoga block in between them, if you can imagine a yoga block. And we're going to exhale and slowly sit back down into an invisible chair. You get to decide how tall your chair is. Maybe your chair is 3 inches tall, maybe your chair is 5 feet tall, that's okay. Stay here. Come up to the tippy toe of your left foot here, while still sitting in that invisible chair. Stay here if you want to, or go ahead and see if you can lift that whole left knee off the mat. Left ankle crosses right on top of right knee, almost like a number 4. Inhale here, draw the gaze forward at some blade of grass, something in front of you to just stare at. They call that the dristi, or the meditative gaze, to stare at one point. And then go ahead and see if you can adjust that height of your chair by sinking down just a little bit more. If you lose your balance, that's okay. That was my challenge. Inhale here, draw the torso up, fingertips come up to the sky, and shake out that leg. All right, let's try it on the other side. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Hands come into a prayer position. Slowly come down to your heart. Sit down into that invisible chair behind you. So we're not tucking, we're kind of sticking it out and sitting it down. Come up to a tippy toe of your right toes. Stay here if you want to, or see if you can lift that right knee all the way off the mat. And then cross that right ankle on top of the left knee. Find that blade of grass in front of you to stare at. Maybe you notice this leg is a little more wobbly than the other one, and that's okay, just notice. Reset is necessary. And then play with the height of that chair. See if you can sink down just a little bit more into that chair. And when you're ready, inhaling, bringing the fingertips up, standing up, and shaking out that leg. Okay. And last balance pose before we go down. We're going to do a tree pose. So let's go ahead and once again check to see that our feet are about hip width apart. Hands are at our sides, shoulders are up and rolled back behind us. Coming into that tippy toe of the left toes once again. Go ahead and take the left heel and ground it down right above the right ankle. Knee comes out to the side. Stay here if you want to. Or inhale, draw the sole of the foot up to the inner calf. Reset is necessary. Sometimes you also might have to move if you're on a lump. Find something in front of you to stare at and just slowly breathe. Hands can come out to the side for balance, or you can once again press your hands into a prayer position in front of you. And if you want to take it one step further, we can reach down to that ankle and draw the sole of the foot up to the inner thigh. Reset as necessary. Making sure that knee is out to the side. Pressing the foot into your thigh as much as your thigh is pressing into your foot. And then have fun. Play with your arms. See if you can open up your arms or come back to prayer position. See if you can raise your fingertips up here. Imagine you're at your computer desk typing. No, okay, that's not a yoga pose. All right, let's go ahead and reach up as much as we can and then let it all go. And then opposite side. So once again, feet are shoulder width apart. Come up to the tippy toe of your right feet. Right heel grounds down right above the left ankle. Arms can come out to the side or prayer position, whatever you choose. Stay here or go to step 2. Draw the sole of your foot up to your inner calf, not your knee. Stay here if you want to, or go ahead and reach down and draw up the ankle so that you can press your sole of your foot up into your inner thigh. Once again, avoiding the knee so that you don't push out any ligaments or anything important tonight. Find something, a blade of grass in front of you once again to stare at, and see if you can play with your arms by lifting them, reaching out to the side, coming into prayer position, just trying some different things. Keep breathing, and when you're ready, shake it all out. All right, let's come down to a seated position on our mat. Okay. We're going to go ahead and draw in our right leg into our upper thigh, almost like we're doing a seated tree pose, like what we just did. So left leg is out straight, right knee is bent out to the side, and right foot is pressing into our inner thigh. We're going to draw up our toes once again towards our body and towards our face. We're going to reach up with our fingertips and reach them down towards those toes. So everybody is at different flexibilities. Some people can reach the bottoms of their feet. Some people can just reach their calf tonight, and that's okay. Find what feels good to you. You want to notice a place that's right before where your breath becomes constricted. So if you don't feel like you can breathe, back out just a little bit, straighten your spine from the base to the top of the head, and then slowly see if you can walk forward just a little bit more. Let your head and neck relax here for a moment as you stretch down towards that foot. Wherever you're at, let's go ahead and reach back with our right fingertips behind us, drawing the gaze back towards those right fingertips. And inhale, fingertips come up over our head and reach towards that same set of toes, towards the left toes, that same one. Feeling the stretch down the side of your body this time. Inhale, fingertips reach up to the sky. Let's go ahead and take that knee up and hug it into our body. We're gonna hug it in with our left arm. So left arm hugs around that right knee. Right arm reaches up and grounds down right behind you. So palm is pressing into the earth behind your right hip. As you draw your gaze behind you, once again, straightening from the base of your spine all the way to the top of your head, and just using your lower spine to twist from. Inhale, face it forward. Let's take a brief moment, stacking the right leg, right ankle on top of right knee, left knee on top of left ankle here. We're going to walk our hands forward as far as we can until once again our breath becomes restricted, or if we feel any pain. This is a good glute stretch, so if you're not feeling your glute, bless you, because I feel my glute right now. Walk it forward until you feel a little bit of a stretch in the glute, and then go ahead and release your head and neck here. Slowly walking your hands back to your knees. We're going to do the opposite, so let's go ahead and take our left ankle on top of our right knee, or however you had it before, do opposite. Stack it opposite. And then we're going to walk it forward in this position as well. With our hands reaching forward to the front of our mat, looking forward, and then letting our head and neck just relax down. Once we reach that point of feeling a stretch in our glute or feeling a stretch in our lower back,